question, and please don't hate me for it, but does donating to charity actually do good? Because if you're like me, you see stuff like this all over social media all the time, trying to fundraise for everyone from Afghan refugees to Haitian refugees to women who just need basic health care. And be honest, the last time you ponied up to one of these charities, did you follow up and see where your money went? Or did you just pat yourself on the back and go, wow, I'm such a good person, and then move on with your life? Be honest.
Either way, you'd have plenty of reason to do what you did. The entire charity industrial complex is designed in a way that you donate as much as you can to people who assure you that you're an awesome person for doing so, but don't really show you what they do with your donation. But think about this. We've got charities throwing money to fight hunger and homelessness and diseases and disasters, but for all that money that's been donated and the supposed work that's been done, so many of these problems have remained relatively constant. So what gives? Well, for starters, it's all but guaranteed that not all of the donation you just made is going to actually make it to the person you're trying to help. Let's not forget that charities still need money to operate. They still need facilities to operate out of, staff to carry out their day-to-day operations, supplies and equipment to carry out the work, as well as put together events to try to fundraise. And they also need some kind of corporate oversight to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And as nice as it would be for all these day-to-day operations to run entirely on donated time and facilities and materials and labor, the harsh reality is that all of these things cost money. That means that a portion of your donation has to cover all of those various costs. And depending on which organization you donate to, the actual impact of each dollar can vary dramatically, even if you're trying to help the same cause.
So let's say, for instance, that cancer is your pet cause. If you go on the site Charity Navigator, which ranks charities based on their dollar-for-dollar impact, you'll see that anywhere between 76 and 11% of your donation actually goes to help the cause, and the numbers are all over the place.
But even if you're able to track down a charity that can miraculously guarantee that every cent of your donation will go towards the cause of your choice, chances are that it's still not going to do much to solve the actual problem. Yes, it's good to, say, feed people who are hungry. But if you're only giving them food in the short term without addressing why people go hungry in the first place, how much are you actually helping? If you're sending food but not making sure that it's food that makes sense for that person's situation, how much are you actually helping? If you're sending food but not making sure that their other needs are met, how much are you actually helping? Unfortunately, so much of charity takes this type of approach because it focuses too much on the person donating and not enough on the person that needs help. It's understandable to an extent. If it's your money or stuff that you're donating, you deserve some say in what it goes towards. But consider instances like the Notre Dame fire. Big companies and individuals alike came together to fundraise nearly $1 billion, far more than what was needed to rebuild it. What exactly can we do with the extra money, and who gets to decide? And it gets worse when people donate items instead of money, because materials can go to waste.
Like clothing, for example. I cleaned out my closets and now I'm gonna donate all these old clothes to that Goodwill over there. But since only about 20% of clothing donations actually end up getting sold, I may as well haul 3 of these bags straight to a landfill. But here's the thing, I don't get a tax write-off if I do that, so let go.
And anytime there's a disaster, logistics experts have to scramble to make sure that the subsequent chaotic flood of random donations doesn't do more harm than good. But even though misguided giving causes so much to go to waste, it still pales in comparison to the fact that companies and wealthy philanthropists who are dominating the space ride waves of praise and accolades all the way to the bank. Because charitable donations are tax deductible, wealthy donors and corporations get to skip out on tax responsibility while patting themselves on the back. And if you watched our video on billionaires, you know how little the ultra wealthy are already paying in taxes compared to the rest of us. And because they can afford to donate that much more, that means they get to skip out on that much more. The US Treasury estimates that it'll lose out on $740 billion in lost tax revenue because of philanthropy, which is a lot of money that could go towards, say, funding social programs that help make sure that people can afford food and housing and medicine. And that's not counting instances where charity is being used to gloss over some pretty heinous stuff.
Like the Sackler family, who made billions profiting off of the opioid epidemic before putting their name all over museums and hospitals everywhere. Or Citibank sponsoring affordable rideshare bikes with hopes that we'll forget about the fact that they tanked our entire economy and then got bailed out for it.
It's so bad that experts have even coined a term for it: toxic philanthropy. Look, it's still a good thing to see people who are less fortunate and want to try to help. But if we are serious about that want, then we have to rethink our approach. We need to step outside ourselves and focus more on empowering those people in need and developing long-term and sustainable solutions that address root causes. More importantly, we need to make sure that we're not using private philanthropy to substitute for what government needs to be doing in the first place. And since we are all no doubt scratching our heads about how we can go ahead and do that, here's something else to watch while you ponder.
If there's any topic out there that's got you scratching your head and you're too scared to ask, you should totally send it our way. Tweet using the hashtag #QuickQuestion or email us at questions@brainjoltmedia.com. Don't forget to follow us, and remember, quick questions don't always have quick answers.